Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today responded to the debate on the motion of thanks on the President's address in the Rajya Sabha as the opposition staged a walkout in protest. In fact, in his speech, the Prime Minister spoke about issues of NEET paper leak. He also spoke about Manipur in detail and also the recent flogging of a Bengali woman in North Bengal. He also hit out at the Congress party, saying people have rejected their politics. This is, of course, after Rahul Gandhi's maiden speech in the Lok Sabha as the LOP, in which he accused the BJP of falsely calling the party a custodian of Hindus. In fact, he invoked matters of religion, caste and welfare and blamed the BJP for inequality that exists in the country. In fact, the first session of the 18th Lok Sabha commenced on the 24th of June. It concluded yesterday with the Prime Minister's reply. The session was spread over 7 sittings and lasted for 34 hours. In fact, 50 members gave speeches throughout the session. Today, of course, the Rajya Sabha session ended, and now we are waiting for the budget session to start, which is around 22nd of July. Now, there were 3 main highlights of the Parliament session. The first Parliament session under Modi 3.0. Apart from the speeches, of course, Prime Minister Narendra Modi introducing his Council of Ministers to Rahul Gandhi being appointed as the LOP and the Speaker, Om Birla, getting re-elected. Now, what will future Parliament sessions in this House with a resized opposition look like? That is what we will try and understand tonight. We will be joined by a panel of experts, but before that, let's look at some reactions.
झूठ फैलाने वालों की सत्य सुनने की ताकत भी नहीं होती। सत्य से मुकाबला करना, इसके लिए जिनके हौसले नहीं है, वो बैठ करके इतनी चर्चा के बाद उन्होंने उठाए हुए सवालों के जवाब भी सुनने की हिम्मत नहीं है। ये अपर हाउस को अपमानित कर रहे हैं। देश की जनता ने हर प्रकार से उनको इतना पराजित कर दिया है कि अब उनके पास गली मोहल्ले में चीखने के सिवाय कुछ बचा नहीं। नारेबाजी, हो हल्ला और मैदान छोड़ के भाग जाना, यही उनके नसीब में लिखा हुआ। और मैं कहता हूं, वो जो कहते थे उनके मुंह में घी शक्कर। और ये मैं क्यों कह रहा हूं? क्योंकि उन्होंने बार बार ढोल पिटा था 1/3 सरकार। इससे बड़ा सत्य क्या हो सकता है कि हमारे 10 साल हुए हैं, 20 और बाकी है। 1/3 हुआ है, 1/3 हुआ है, 2/3 बाकी। और इसलिए उनकी इस भविष्यवाणी को लिए मैं उनके मुंह में घी सकता हूं।
बहुत दुख की बात है, क्योंकि जब देश का प्रधानमंत्री बोलते हैं तो उसको बोलने का पूरा समय दिया जाता है। ये परंपरा रही है। बीच में अगर टोकना है या क्लैरिफिकेशन देना चाहते हैं तो ठीक है, थोड़ा थोड़ा पार्लियामेंट्री फंक्शनिंग में टोका टोकी जरूर होते हैं, लेकिन आप पूरा का पूरा 2 घंटे भाषण को आप हल्ला करके, स्लोगन करके बोलने ही नहीं देंगे, ऐसा कभी भी नहीं हुआ। ये कांग्रेस पार्टी को सोचना होगा कि देश का प्रधानमंत्री किसी एक दल का नहीं होता है, वो पूरा देश का नेतृत्व करते हैं।
हम सबने इसलिए वॉकआउट किया कि जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर अपना राष्ट्रपति अभिभाषण पर जो भाषण दे रहे थे, उन्होंने कुछ गलत बातें सदन को बताई।
So we are joined by Radhika Khera of the BJP. We have Mohan Kumar Mangalam of the Congress Party, and we also have Aarti Jaidatt joining us. Thank you all of you for joining me on this show. To you first, Radhika Khera, do you think that the BJP, of course the dominant party with 240 MPs and also the NDA in power, needs a new strategy to approach a new resurgent opposition like we are witnessing in this house today? Because clearly there is a lot of aggression, there's a lot of muscle flexing. At the same time, there's a lot of calling out on things that did not work for the BJP when it came to elections 2024. So, of course, there are personal attacks, but do you think your party needs to sort of in some ways re-strategize and rework its approach to this opposition?
You know, what the country witnessed yesterday and today. Yesterday, under Rahul Gandhi's leadership, there was chaos in the Lok Sabha. We saw how he was pulling getting his people to pull the MPs to come and protest in the well. And under Khargeji's leadership, we saw a walkout in the Rajya Sabha. On both the occasions, the Congress party not only insulted the dignity of the parliament, but also the Gandhi family-led Congress party, which considers itself much above the country's parliament and constitution. And those people who are waving around the constitution have disgraced the constitution as the house. In words of Modi ji, let me repeat, hu halla and Maidan chhod ke bhagna is the chal charitra chehra of the Congress. And we also saw how the Honorable Jagdish Dhankar Sahab had shown Kharge ji his place, who continuously disrespects the chair, and he was called out by Dhankar ji also. Now the Congress party, yes, they've got 99 seats out of 500 something, out of 530. But what they need to remember is that they have been rejected by the country. The country has chosen Narendra Modi ji and the Bharatiya Janata Party. And it was obvious that they have issues, because every time the Prime Minister calls them out, and like the Prime Minister said that he would like to say this without hesitation, that he has given a free hand to the agencies to take stringent actions against corruption and the corrupt, and the government will not interfere anyway, we saw a walkout. It was bound to tickle the corrupt nerves of the Congress party, hence the state of walkout. We've even seen that yesterday, after the Prime Minister, he specifically said that he is here till 2029. Indian stock market made history. The Sensex breached the 80,000 mark for the first time in history. We're seeing how the country is progressing, but this is not accepted by the Gandhi family. This is not accepted by Rahul Gandhi. This is not accepted by the Congress. Right. They should talk on issues. They should not just interrupt parliament to show that we have the numbers. You still don't have the numbers to match only the Bharatiya Janata Party. You have to behave like a responsible opposition. The country has given you a chance and has given you a mandate that you have to be in the opposition. Now behave like a responsible opposition. And what we also saw yesterday was history being created when the leader of opposition, for the first time in the history of parliament, could not counter the Prime Minister
Radhika
on
and
anything.
Mohan and
Did
Aarti,
we see Rahul Gandhi stand up?
yes, hold on to that thought. We are just going to Champai Soren, who is resigning now, the Chief Minister of Jharkhand. Remember that Hemant Soren is likely to be re-sworn as the Chief Minister of Jharkhand. Let's listen into what he said.
का निर्णय होते हैं। जो हम लोग नेतृत्व परिवर्तन किया था, मुझे दायित्व मिला। राजनीतिक घटनाक्रम आप लोग भी जानते हैं, और उसे हेमंत बाबू ने आया, और हमारा गठबंधन में फिर से हम लोग निर्णय लिया, और हम हेमंत बाबू को और हमारा गठबंधन की ओर से फिर हम लोग नेता चुना, और हम अपना जो पद हमने लिया था उसको हमने इस्तीफा दिया। हाँ, जैसे हम लोग का गठबंधन का जो निर्णय है, वो निर्णय के अनुसार हम लोग अपना काम किया।
सर, आपने नई सरकार का दावा पेश किया।
देखिए, माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने सारी बातें कह दी है, और बाकी चीजें अभी बहुत अफरा तफरी है, हम लोग विस्तृत रूप में बता देंगे, और बाकी चीजें जो प्रक्रिया है हम लोगों ने पूरी कर ली। ये सारी समय चरणबद्ध तरीके से बता देंगे। यहाँ थोड़ा सा और लोग छूट
So Champai Soren tenders his resignation. Hemant Soren likely to be sworn in as the Chief Minister of Jharkhand again. Remember, it was Hemant Soren who basically got bail from one of the courts. He was in jail on accusations of corruption with regard to mining licenses, and that is Champai Soren resigning as the Chief Minister of Jharkhand. Remember, Jharkhand elections are also slated to happen in a few months from now. That's Hemant Soren standing next to Champai Soren. Champai Soren is also an MLA of the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha. Champai Soren is the Chief Minister of Jharkhand. He resigns now, and Hemant Soren comes back as the Chief Minister of Jharkhand. Mr. Hemant Soren is out on bail, remember, and he has, of course, resigned as Jharkhand Chief Minister. Before he went to jail, he had convened a meeting of his party MLAs, and in that meeting, it was Champai Soren who was selected as the person who would take over from Hemant Soren as the Chief Minister of Jharkhand. And then, of course, he was appointed the Chief Minister of Jharkhand. Mr. Soren Champai Soren also comes from the tribal community. Remember, Jharkhand elections are slated to happen in a few days from now, in a few months from now. And Hemant Soren, accused of corruption in mining licenses, was jailed for a few months. He was out on bail. He is out on bail, in fact, after court intervened. And he, in fact, just said that this decision was taken by the alliance, the India Alliance. Remember that Jharkhand Mukti Morcha is an important part of the India Alliance. I have my colleague Haribans joining us with more details on this. Tell us what really is happening. Of course, this was expected with regard to Champai Soren's resignation. But when is Hemant Soren expected to take charge? अच्छा हरिवंश ये बताइए कि हेमंत सोरेन कब तक चार्ज ले सकते हैं और चंपई सोरेन का जो रेजिग्नेशन है वो तो एक्सपेक्टेड था ही, ये जो मीटिंग हुई थी इसके बारे में बताइए जिसमें ये डिसीजन लिया गया।
बिल्कुल दसदा, आज अचानक जो है 11 बजे विधायक दल की बैठक बुलाई जाती है और इसमें जो कांग्रेस, आरजेडी और जेएमएम के सारे विधायक मंत्रीगण जुड़ते हैं और करीब 1 घंटे की बैठक में ही ये साफ हो जाता है कि नए मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में फिर से हेमंत सोरेन जो है वो शपथ लेंगे और सारे विधायकों की सहमति से उनको अपना विधायक जो नेता है वो चुना गया और इसके बाद इन लोगों ने फैसला लिया। हाँ, इस बीच में जो है जो चंपाई सोरेन जो मुख्यमंत्री थे वो थोड़ी नाराजगी अपने तरफ से उन्होंने जताया था, लेकिन फिर इस सारे जो दूरियां थी उसको जल्द ही ये लोग जो है बैठक करके फिर दोबारा बैठक करके और फिर सहमति बनी है। सहमति के बाद जो है राजभवन से समय लिया गया है और फिर चंपाई सोरेन अपने सारे जो है मंत्रीगण के साथ राजभवन पहुंचे और अपना इस्तीफा दिया है। साथ में इस्तीफा के बाद जो हेमंत सोरेन साथ में थे और उन्होंने अपना जो है वो नए मुख्यमंत्री बनने के लिए दावा पेश किया है। तो जो ओथ कल लेंगे या परसों लेंगे ये अभी निर्धारित नहीं किया गया है। हालांकि इन्होंने टाइम लिया होगा, लेकिन राजभवन से ऑफिशियल अभी तक किसी तरह की कोई सूचना नहीं मिली है, तो इंतजार है कि ये कब ओथ लेते हैं। बस दा।
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sharma, for joining us with those details. Remember, Champai Soren has resigned as the Jharkhand Chief Minister. Hemant Soren is likely to be sworn in as the Chief Minister of Jharkhand yet again. Going back to our discussion, remember this was the first parliament session under Modi 3.0. Of course, it saw a lot of fireworks with the LOP, Rahul Gandhi, delivering his first address as the LOP, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi also launching a blistering attack on Rahul Gandhi, in fact, singularly targeting the Congress party and calling it a parasite. Let me ask this question to Mohan Kumar Mangalam. Mohan, there are many things that the Prime Minister said yesterday and today, but one thing that really sort of like, was very conspicuous was the way he called the Congress party a parasite. He in fact said that it is one party that basically depends on regional allies when it comes to its own electoral successes. And this is in some ways true because the party has had a shrinking footprint in the last few years. Of course, this year was different. How do you see this?
Vasudha, a parasite is something that basically grows and destroys its host over a period of time. If there's any party that can claim to be a parasite or parasitic, it is the BJP. If you look at its history, whether that be in Maharashtra where it started off with a meager number of single-digit seats in alliance with the Shiv Sena and slowly grew to eat the Shiv Sena and other parties and finally break the Shiv Sena. They tried to do the same thing in ADMK, with ADMK in Tamil Nadu until the ADMK, wised up to their tricks and broke off the alliance before the election happened. They've tried to do the same thing with Shiromani Akali Dal, and it's an open secret how many times, whether it is using Chirag Paswan or whether it is using Manji, that they tried to break Nitish's government in Bihar. So if there's anyone who behaves like a parasite, it is the BJP. And I mean, who is he to say that we have, formed an alliance in the opposition and that is parasitic when he himself is dependent on two alliance partners to actually run his government? The thing that really bothers me about this entire parliament session, though, Vasudha, is the fact that we have this situation, this almost grave situation, where students have gone through a lot of hardship and they've had papers cancelled on them. There's huge uncertainty about what the future holds for them. And if the parliament in its first session had taken time out to do a discussion threadbare on the NEET issue, on the UGC NET issue, we could have shown the students of India that it is the temple of democracy, the highest decision-making body in the country, the law-making body in the country that's actually taking their pain seriously. Mr. Gandhi and the Congress and the opposition tried to bring attention to it on the first day. Mr. Gandhi even wrote to Mr. Modi saying yesterday, fine, can we do it today? You lead the debate. If this was the speaker to say or others to say that you can just talk about it in your vote of thanks response is meaningless. You must have a dedicated debate on it. The same goes for Manipur. If the Prime Minister in his response says that, we're doing basically blaming everything that happens wrong in the country to previous Congress governments, is not going
when the
to
Prime
be
Minister
anymore.
was speaking, it could have been possible for the Congress party to not, heckle him for all the 2 hours that he spoke. I understand that one of your MPs was not, Manipur MPs was not given an opportunity to speak. There is, of course, there's a Meitei MP who spoke, there's a Kuki MP who was not given a chance. I understand all that. But 2 hours, opposition MPs heckling, the Prime Minister speaking, is that the picture of the opposition that you wanted to paint?
Vasudha, have you ever seen a leader of opposition speech interrupted by the Prime Minister? Not only the Prime Minister, but 4 or 5 other ministers under the garb of having to clarify something he said. They could have taken the opportunity to do that after his speech was over. And it's not like his speech wasn't heckled all throughout. Not only that, after he made the speech, the speaker in an extremely partisan manner chose to expunge whatever he wanted, whatever he considered unparliamentary, that defied logic, frankly. You're setting the stage by using the speaker, by using the fact that you're in government.
Okay, let me get Radhika to speak here before I go to Aarti.
For a hostile opposition. And let me just say one thing to Radhika, right? Yes, the people of India have elected a government, but the people of India have also elected an opposition. Let us never forget that. She used the word reject. Nobody has been rejected here. The people of India in this election have made it very clear that they want a strong opposition.
Radhika, one thing I specifically wanted to ask you was this reference to Balak Buddhi. There are many things about the Congress party which are not really working for the BJP when it comes to attacks, be it this attack on dynasty politics, or even calling Rahul Gandhi a part-time politician, trivial, childlike, somebody who's non-serious, because clearly this is a man who has undertaken Bharat Jodo Yatra twice, and I know you have worked in that party. So do you think even politically this is something that works for you?
Vasudha, glad you mentioned that I have been with the party, and glad you mentioned the Bharat Jodo Yatra. The second round of the Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra was just a farce, and it was just conducted in the car, and Rahul Gandhi would just go wave his hands out for 2 minutes. So it was all a drama, and the end result was what we saw in the Lok Sabha elections. And I would like to remind the Congress spokesperson here, Mr. Kumar Mangalam ji, you have been rejected. That is a fact. You have been rejected and you have been given the mandate to sit in the opposition. Now I accept that. Now he said that this is the first time the Prime Minister or ministers got up. Well, if the leader of opposition, which is a very, zimmedar pad hai, has been lying in parliament. Rahul Gandhi went and said those who call themselves Hindus are violent. When he was called out, he was spinning his way out.
Come on,
Rahul Gandhi talked about Agniveer, and when Sivansi was corrected, he said, let the people decide.
I have to get Aarti here because she's been waiting for a long time. I'm sorry, Radhika. Sorry, Mohan. Aarti, what are your...
Sudhaji, when I talk about facts and I call out what the BJP spokesperson is saying, I'm being shut down. He's talking about...
so-called facts.
It's not fair.
Let Aarti come in here. Aarti, what are your comments on what really happened? Radhika, I'll come back to you for the last last word. Tell me, what do you think of what really happened in the first session? We saw a lot of fireworks, but is there any substance? And of course, there is a lot of glimpse into what the future sessions could look like, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, Vasudha, you put it very well, because this is precisely the fear that future sessions of Parliament are going to go the way this session went, and the way the 17th Lok Sabha went and the 16th Lok Sabha went, in a lot of pandemonium, furor, noise, clashes, confrontations, and I don't know how much substance will be, actually achieved. We had hoped that, a good opposition and, a ruling party, which has been slightly humbled at the hustings, would provide for a healthy debate in Parliament, but that's not what we're seeing. And what we saw, yesterday and day before yesterday, it was actually very strange, very, very sad. Because, yes, I don't think any Prime Minister has been heckled like this for 2 hours during a major speech. And I think it was very unseemly of the opposition to do so. But at the same time, I don't think any recognized leader of opposition speech, portions have been expunged the way Rahul Gandhi's, portions of Rahul Gandhi's speech was expunged. Okay. Normally, the leader of opposition is given the same weightage and respect as the Prime Minister, and portions of the speech are not expunged. And that is really what set the stage for yesterday's very unseemly and unfortunate confrontation, which saw the Prime Minister being heckled for 2 hours.
Right.
So I think somewhere, you mentioned right at the beginning that the BJP needs to re-strategize. Just going on blaming the Congress for everything that has happened in the country for the last 60, 70 years. We've been hearing the same song since 2014.
That's completely, I'm really short of time. Radhika, I promised you the last word. Please, your closing remarks on this.
RTG, I agree that there has never been a precedent like this, that the Prime Minister has been heckled. And yes, there should have been a responsible debate, which is why we gave enough time to the leader of opposition to prove his point. But he continued to lie. And that is why we had to call him out each time. And when you talk about the same respect being given to the leader of opposition, yes, you cannot demand respect, you have to earn the respect. But sadly and unfortunately, the leader of opposition is losing all respect by the way he behaved. Radhika. And pulling out, getting Gaurav Gogoi to pull out the MPs into the well and create a ruckus. It's very sad, a very sad situation. You may go around waving the constitution, the Samvidhan. Have you even read the Samvidhan? Does the Samvidhan give you the right to insult the House of the Parliament? I am sorry. That is extremely unfortunate. Rahul Gandhi should go and read the constitution that he waves around.
I'm completely out of time. Thank you so much, all three of you, for joining me on this show. And this NDA government is so much about allies, so we thought we could also get some allies to speak to us. And joining me now is TDP MP Shri Krishna Devarayulu. Thank you so much, Mr. Krishna Devarayulu, for speaking to NDTV. You're also the parliamentary leader of the TDP in the parliament, and of course you have new responsibilities. How do you see the debut speech of Rahul Gandhi and also the united opposition's pitch in this session?
I see that is a part of our job that we are supposed to do here, and we on part of TDP also, we have raised a few issues relating to Andhra Pradesh and the issues that are pending from the time the AP Reorganization Act came into effect. So it's a part and parcel of our job, and I don't read too much into what opposition is saying or opposition bloc is saying. I only read into what Prime Minister Modi is looking at for the next 5 years, and as a representative of Andhra Pradesh and people of Andhra Pradesh, I will only concentrate on the issues that is related to Andhra Pradesh.
Right. Also, Krishna, Chandrababu Naidu, your boss is arriving tonight. He's also the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh and, of course, the Supremo of TDP. It's an important visit as it's the first since the government was formed in Andhra Pradesh. And, of course, TDP with 16 MPs is the most important constituent of the NDA. What's on agenda?
He's meeting few ministers and he's very clear that we need support from New Delhi. We need support from Union government because you know that our state is a revenue deficit state from the time of inception. So we are little, in a crunch. And also for the last 5 years, if you've seen the amount of debt that has that has been put forward. Which is a whopping 13.5 lakhs that Andhra Pradesh is facing right now. So there are there are issues that needs to be taken care of. So both issues related to the finance ministry and various other commerce ministry and various other ministries also. He'll be meeting them, speaking to them, putting forward his suggestions, putting forward his requests, and so that we as a partners, BJP, TDP, and Jansen being a partners in the government, we look forward to working together.
Thank you, Krishna, for joining us on this broadcast. Also joining us now is JMM MP Mahua Majhi. Thank you so much, Ms. Majhi, for speaking to NDTV. हमने देखा कि पार्लियामेंट सेशन एंड ज़रूर हो चुका है, लेकिन एक तरीके से डिस्कॉर्ड, डिसएग्रीमेंट ज़्यादा दिखा इस बार, और एक तरीके से ये भी दिखा कि लोग बात तो कर रहे थे डायलॉग की, लेकिन वो चीज़ सामने उभर के नहीं आई। आने वाले सेशंस क्या ऐसे ही होंगे? क्या पार्लियामेंट ऐसे ही चलेगा? एक बड़ा सवाल है।
देखिए, आज जब पीएम स्पीच दे रहे थे तो हमारे एलओपी आदरणीय खड़गे जी ने बार बार उसके बीच में उन्होंने समय मांगा कि वो बीच में टोकना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि कांग्रेस और संविधान को लेकर पीएम ने जो कुछ भी कहा था उससे उनको ऑब्जेक्शन था और वो तथ्यों के साथ कुछ बातों को रखने के लिए समय मांग रहे थे। लेकिन बार बार अपील करने के बाद भी जब चेयरमैन ने और प्रधानमंत्री जी ने भी उनकी तरफ ध्यान नहीं दिया, उनको बोलने का अवसर नहीं दिया, जबकि उनका कहना था कि राहुल गांधी जी जब लोकसभा में अपनी बात रख रहे थे उस समय सत्ता पक्ष के कई मंत्रीगण और कई लोगों ने उनके बीच में खड़े होकर समय मांगा और बोला भी और उनको समय भी मिल गया। लेकिन यहाँ पर इंडिया गठबंधन को समय नहीं मिला, एलओपी को, उसी से नाराज होकर वो बाहर आए, वॉकआउट हुआ और सभी लोग, इंडिया गठबंधन के सभी लोग एक साथ बाहर आए।
लेकिन मैम, जब कल पीएम बात कर रहे थे तो 2 घंटे जो है स्लोगनियरिंग हो रहा था, हेकलिंग हो रहा था, प्रधानमंत्री हैं, तो क्या ये जो चीज़ है वो ऑपोजिशन अगर ना करती तो एक बेटर प्रोजेक्शन ऑफ पार्लियामेंट्री इथॉस दिखाई देता?
देखिए, ये तो मैं नहीं कह पाऊंगी, लेकिन पूरी इंडिया गठबंधन ने विरोध किया और हम लोग चूंकि इंडिया गठबंधन के साथ हैं, जो गठबंधन जो करता है हम लोग उनके साथ चलते हैं, इसलिए अलग से मेरी कोई राय इसमें नहीं बनती है, हम लोग अदर्स में आते हैं। हाँ जी।
Thank you, Ms. Majhi, for joining us on this discussion. So, discord, disagreement and a little bit of dialogue is what we saw even as the first parliament session after the Lok Sabha elections of 2024 ended today, and with the promise of much more in the coming days, even as we wait for the budget session to start. Of course, thank you so much for watching NDTV. That's all we have for you in this bulletin. Time for a short break. More news and updates on the other.